So, you know Eamon Ryan, the Minister for Environment, that doesn't want anybody born in a bit of tough in Ireland. A few elderly people born in a bit of tough in rural Ireland, the back end of nowhere. He doesn't want that. What's the centre of the prison for that? And he doesn't want you to. He doesn't want you to have a car too. He doesn't want that. He wants you to have an electric car. Well, do you know what? Eamon Ryan decided in the cabinet. All the rest of the cabinet are going off on holidays too for St. Patrick's Day. All taxpayer funded, of course. Not a penny out of their pocket. Don't worry about it. But Eamon Ryan decided, you know what? I go to Singapore. I go to China. So he's going to China. I wonder when he's there, will he talk to Xi Jinping about the amount of pollution China's causing? Are they going to go green? Are they going to cut down on their hair by 30%? I wonder is he going to talk that kind of nonsense over there? If so, he'd be on the first plane back to Ireland. And he's going to Hong Kong and Beijing and Shanghai. So, you know, I wonder what pollution is over there. You know, I wonder what he's going to say over there. Is he going to denounce the Communist Party of China when he goes over there? And only recently, about a few days ago at most, he was on about if anything, like any flying object or anything that's not supposed to be there around airports and stuff like that, for example, a drone or even the balloon, he's like, we should shoot it down, we should take it down. So really, you know, the hypocrisy here. But yeah, how another question too. Eamon Ryan's so-called Green Party, the environment. He doesn't want you and me flying. No, he doesn't want us to go on holidays. No, a hard-working man, a hard-working woman going off on holidays for a week or two along the surf break. No, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want you to. He wants you to own nothing and be happy. But yeah, so he's going off on the plane, first class, of course, private jet, maybe, who knows. But let's be fair, he doesn't have to pay for it. Like, when he went off to Egypt, he got a first class accommodation, €30,000. Actually, it was more than that, it was over 100,000 for them to be there for a week, the Irish delegation. Fuck knows what good it done to anybody. The only thing I see the benefit was themselves. But that's always the way. But yeah, you take Eamon Ryan, I would have loads of respect now if Eamon Ryan said in the morning, you know what, I'm going to rent I don't know, a fucking boat, right, a paddle boat, and I'm going to paddle my way to China to prove a point, to say about pollution and the environment. Because let's be fair, he's not going by ship, he's going to go by plane. So do you imagine all the emissions out of the plane? Imagine that if Eamon Ryan was here now, he'd be saying everybody is causing so much emissions into the atmosphere. It's polluting the world. But we don't talk about what happened in Ohio, of course. Obviously, that amount of pollution too is going to have a worldwide effect because all the chemicals that were in that train that were on fire, it's going into the atmosphere. And obviously that's worse than probably anything that Ireland has done in the last 30 years, that disaster alone. But we don't talk about that. But yeah, I thought it was very comical. You know, somebody that's on about pollution all the time. And China and India, them two countries are the worst polluters in the world in terms of carbon emissions and stuff like that. And obviously, I don't think Xi Jinping, if Eamon Ryan, imagine if he goes over there and he denounces the Communist Party of China and says they should be abolished and they should go carbon neutral by 2030 and they should get rid of all their diesel cars. They should stop oil and everything. They should stop the cattle and all that. They shouldn't have cattle or anything like that. They should start eating bugs and stuff like that. You really think Xi Jinping and all them in China are going to listen to him? But I thought it was very funny, you know. If I was preaching my gospel, right, saying, oh, the environment and nobody should be polluting the world and things like that, X, Y, and Z, I would stick by that. I'd be like, I'm not going near China. I'd rather jump in the lake than go near China. But Eamon Ryan is like, of course I go off on a 5-star, and he's going to Singapore too, so obviously for 5-star hotels across the whole board, and a few brown envelopes too in China to let a few things slide and all on TikTok maybe. You know, a few brown envelopes to bring home. And obviously they'd be the most heaviest thing you have to carry. A few €1,000 here and there. You know, it's just it's very peculiar. But anyway, but yeah, not talking about him, but it is, you know, I don't know. I love to just be a midget on the wall, to see what he has to say to the heads of the Communist Party. Because let's be fair, he's going to meet some high knobs in the Communist Party of China. You know, he's going to meet some high fuckers in the Communist Party of China. Either that be Xi Jinping or other people who are high up in the Communist Party of China, because he is going to Beijing and the head of the Chinese regime. So he's going to be meeting some high up people. Will he say to them about the amount of the emissions? Will he talk about that? Will he talk about why they had a police station in Ireland? Will he ask them questions? If he did, I would pat him on the back. I actually go up and pat him on the back. Because it'd be the only time ever Eamon Ryan actually did something useful, asked some reasonable questions. But yeah. So I just wanted to talk about this too. God bless us and save us. I feel sorry for people in Philadelphia. No more Foley's going to Philadelphia. So obviously it's a tragedy. I'm sure, like they don't know the world of pain that's coming to them, you know. And obviously head office is going to England, which is more reasonable than flying around. And some of them are going to New Zealand and Australia, and one of them are going. And Stephen Donnelly's going to Canada. Rodrigo Gorman's going to India. I forgot to say. So obviously, is Rodrigo Gorman going to say about the amount of pollution in India? Is he going to bring that up and say they had to cut the cattle? Because again, India's outside the cities and stuff, it's very rural. It's very farm based economy. So is he going to go along and say you should cut the herd by 30% in India? Are they going to listen to him? That's the question. Is he going to mention it? But no. I just see the American going to the United Arab Emirates, etc., etc., etc. But democracy, as you will shout, democracy. Korea, Poland, Czech, they're all going everywhere. Argentina, Chile, where is all these? They're going all around the world basically. So you have to ask yourself. I understand going to the United States, going to Washington. Obviously, that's very important. The Irish-American relationship is a very unique relationship out of the whole world. And obviously, giving the bowl of shamrock to the President of the United States, it's a very unique tradition. And obviously, the United States has and obviously Ireland and the United States has a huge history together of emigration from Irish people to America, building up America, Irish people working night and day to build America, to build it up to the strength it is today. Now the amount of Irish that did very good things over America, built businesses, built society, built careers, and benefited America significantly. And also, as you know, it's 35 or 36 million people in America descended of Irish heritage. So obviously that's the most unique and most important one to keep. But I kind of don't understand sending them halfway around the world, to Japan, especially to China. Like what are they trying to do? Like particularly Eamon and Ryan. I can understand if they said no more Foley, none of them went to Russia, unfortunately. But imagine if they said no more Foley to Russia. Like I feel sorry for. Actually, imagine if they said hold to China. That I feel sorry for Xi Jinping. Like I'm actually just thinking Xi Jinping probably be like, I'm going to retire. I take early retirement. Like God bless us and save us. Eamon Ryan. Like he probably fall asleep when he's doing that. When Xi Jinping's speaking, he's probably going to fall asleep. Oh no, it's too gas now. Oh, you see what I'm doing, gas? Very funny. And I talk to you later, and goodbye.